Okay, hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to my channel. My name is Hope if you're new, and I'm super excited that you're joining me today. We are sitting down to do another plan with me video. It is going to just be a week in my life in my Hobonichi planner. I've got all the essentials here, including my coffee, my highlighter, my favorite pen, and then of course my journal. So we are going to hop right into things. I've been using this planning method since the beginning of 2024, so we're going on to my third month of using it, and I honestly really like it. I feel like I was bullet journaling for a really long time, and then that just kind of got old because I didn't want to have to write everything out in the way that I previously was. Like, I feel like with bullet journaling, you have to write out the dates, you have to write out all of your like general lines, and this is kind of a good balance in between where I can still customize how I want everything to be laid out, but I'm also able to have some of the base things there like the dates, the day of the week, the month, and then also like a grid system that I can kind of work on filling in. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I do is I take this little divider that I use. I put this in between whatever week I am currently on. It just has today at the top, and then the back of it actually has a little ruler. So I use this as my straight edge whenever I'm trying to draw any of the lines in here. And there are a couple of base lines that I draw every single time. I just connect all of the dots that are kind of previously placed on here, and it just gives me a better idea of how I'm going to break down everything I've got going on. So this is kind of how I like to do it. I'll put one line there, and then I also put another one right beside it, and then this is going to kind of serve as my checkbox when I finish or complete a task. So I've got those two in, and then I'm also going to place one on this second row of dots. This is actually something new I've been trying to give myself a little bit more space to plan out individual tasks in certain areas of my life. So for example, I used to just group all of my like to-do lists together. So I would have my home category, personal, work, and then maybe like side things like social media and stuff. And so I was kind of grouping everything together until I realized that that was making me feel a little bit overwhelmed with everything. So what I ended up doing was creating separate categories and then planning based off of that. And I think the reason it's been so helpful is because it does give me a bit of perspective as to, okay, I finished all of the work I needed to get done. Now anything I do is just like considered extra. Whereas previously I feel like I was really hard on myself to get everything on my to-do list done. This kind of helps me realize what I can get done and what I have to get done. So long story short, I think I'm just saying that I have gotten better at prioritizing my to-do list. And so this kind of planning method has been really helpful in me doing that. I also go ahead and just reinforce these lines. They are slightly darker already, but I just like to fill that in just for kind of being able to see it easier. Okay, and that is pretty much my base done. Let me actually pull you guys in closer because we are going to start writing some stuff in, and I want you guys to be able to see it a little bit better. Here is a better look at what it looks like. I do also go ahead and highlight in this little box. I do that just because I feel like it adds a little bit of visual interest, but then it also kind of sets it apart from the other boxes, which I think is important since I'm just going to be using it for like marking things off. It's a really subtle color, which I think I really like, and it just makes the page feel like it has a little bit more dimension to it. So I go ahead and do that, and then the next thing I typically like to start mapping out is everything I've got going on in this area. This is the area that tends to vary the most for me every week, just because I feel like I'm able to have the most liberty with it. But typically every week what I do is I make my to-do list go from the top all the way down to about this second square from the bottom, and then I use this extra space down here for different habit trackers and other stuff like that. So at the top I'm just going to go ahead and write to do this week, and then I'm going to make those categories that I was telling you guys about. I am also going to underline it just to make it stand out a little bit more, and then we are good to go. So the categories I use personally when it comes to breaking down my to-do list are personal, work, home, and then school. I usually always start with work because I feel like that's the most important one at times. So I just write work, and then I put a little colon, and then I'll kind of jump down as many as I think feel fit for that week. So I definitely know that this upcoming week is going to be pretty work heavy and then also school heavy. So I think I'm going to give the most space for those two categories. I'll go ahead and write in the second one for school, give myself some space, and then we will go with personal. I don't think I'm going to include a home category this week just because I think that work is going to end up taking most of my time. So it doesn't make sense for me to try to do too much stuff related to my home. But what I think I'll end up doing is just grouping in some of my home related tasks underneath my personal category, which I think will be fine for this week. But that is kind of what the breakdown ends up looking like. What I do instead of having to make all those like individual check boxes is I go ahead and take that highlighter I used earlier and I just give it a highlight along the left column. This essentially lets me know where I'm going to be placing the check marks when I add them in, and I just find it to be really useful. And again, just adding a little bit of that dimension, but then also I find it really easy to be able to write whatever task I'm working on right here and then know that that's where my checkbox is going to be. I used to spend a bunch of time drawing individual checkboxes or doing individual dots and stuff, and while that doesn't seem like it'll take a bunch of time up front, if you are doing a lot that week or if you're doing this planning method every week, it can kind of get old. So I would really recommend doing this little highlighter method. It's been really, really useful. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and write down my cleaning schedule and then my workout schedule here at the bottom. I go ahead and start at Sunday and then I label each day of the week moving upward. I find that's just the easiest way for me to be able to map it out without having to worry about having excess space at the top or at the bottom or something. So I'm going to go in with Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. And this will go ahead and be my cleaning schedule. So I'll write cleaning at the top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a space right here to add the highlighter in. And then I'm going to go ahead and write whatever I want to clean on that day of the week right next to it. Also, that way I budget for space correctly. I'm going to go ahead and add in my workout schedule as well. So we're just doing the same thing as far as labeling the days of the week. And then at the top, I'm just going to write movements. Then I can give it a little underline and also go back in with that highlighter so we know where to check things off. Also, because I did end up having a little bit of extra space up there, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend my personal category down a little bit and then use that for some extra tasks. Now that I feel like we've gotten to the bones of my weekly planner, it is time to start filling some stuff in. So I always work from left to right. I just find my brain to work best that way. And the first thing I always do is fill in my events for the week. Now, what I'll do with this is I'll go through my weekly calendar, maybe on Google Calendar or at the beginning of like my monthly spread, and I'll go ahead and just fill in some important dates that I've got going on this week. So on Monday, I'm taking my grandpa to one of his appointments, and I think that appointment is in the afternoon. So I'll put grandpa appointments, and then we'll probably leave at like 2:50, I think. So I'll go ahead and write that in. Another little thing that I've been doing in my journals lately is labeling all of my events with like a little sparkle. And I feel like that's just been a really cute way to add some detail to your journal spread. On Tuesday, I'm also taking him to an appointment. So I'll write that in as well. This pen is honestly so good because it is so small. So I'm able to really get in there and write in detail, which I really appreciate. On Wednesday, my boyfriend and I have our art class. We've been taking this since the beginning of the year and it's honestly been really fun. We go every week and we work on like a project. So previously we did a peacock and it's a drawing class. So we're just focusing on things like shading and details and stuff like that. So that's been really fun. On Thursday, I don't think I have anything going on, so I'm gonna leave that one blank, and then same goes for Friday. Saturday's iffy because I'm not sure if I for sure have something going on, and whenever I have any doubt about something, I go ahead and just wait until later in the week to pencil it in. But something that I am assuming that I'm going to be doing on Saturday is going to some estate sales, so I'll write that in just so I don't forget. And then on Sunday is my reset day, so I'll go ahead and write that in as well. So that first column in my journal is really all about scheduling in events, and this is where I kind of look first whenever I open up my journal and just know, okay, what do I have going on that day? This is the first place I check. The second column is going to be where I write down what I'm going to do that day. So this typically doesn't even get filled in until the day of, and what I do is I write down all of my tasks over here, and then in the morning when I'm going through my journal, I'll go ahead and look at my task list and then decide what I need to get done on that day. The only exception where I'll typically write something in there that maybe I have to do is if it's something that has a due date or something. So if I know something is due by Thursday, then I'll pencil it in earlier in the week because I know it has to get done then. So I'm gonna leave this pretty much blank for now, just so that I give myself a little bit of flexibility moving forward. And then over in this column is actually where we get into some of my content creation stuff. So I do content creation part-time / full-time, depending on how you define it. I do work outside of creating content for social media, and so I think of it as like a second job in a certain sense. balance where there are things that I do want to complete for it every day, but they also don't always take priority. It's more of a, if I can get this done, then that would be great. And so one thing I love to do for this, just to keep me on track with creating content that not only inspires me, but also can inspire other people, is I go ahead and create a category called TikTok and Instagram. And then this category over here has been recently switched to YouTube. And what I'll do is I write down F, E, and P, and that stands for film, edit, post. And this gives me a way to film some content in advance. That way, if I know I have a day where I am working on something else, or maybe I am really overwhelmed with grad school stuff, then I'm able to kind of just focus on that instead, because I have given myself time to plan some things in advance, and then I don't have to like stress out about getting everything done in time. And then I also go ahead and I add little dots on the line, and this is what I'm going to check off as I complete them. If you've ever considered creating content, then I would really let this be your sign to maybe start incorporating little to-do list tasks for it in your daily calendar. I find it to be a really easy way to hold yourself accountable with doing something that you really want to do. I know that when I first started posting stuff on social media, it was something that I was like, okay, if I find time to do it, then I'll go ahead and create a video. But what I found is really helpful is giving myself a list of content ideas that I can pull from. That way I know exactly what I want to be filming on that day. Just like in any other job, like in real estate, where I know I have to do certain things every single day to maintain my knowledge of the market, but then also maintain my license and just kind of continuing to educate myself. You kind of have to do the same thing with anything you're trying to add to your calendar. And what I mean by that is just adding little things in your calendar to let you know what you can do on that day to help make progress in that direction. So let's say, for example, you want to start your own Etsy business. You can make a category for Etsy and then give yourself something to do in that area once a day. I find it to be like a little accountability thing for me, and so it's been a really nice thing to have added to my journal. I am essentially going to do the exact same thing for YouTube, except I'm only going to be posting on Friday and Sunday, so I go ahead and leave the P section out of it for this, obviously. And for YouTube, I'm not necessarily filming and editing something every single day. It's more of just like a make sure that I give myself enough time to be able to get it done, because what I find is that everything usually gets pushed to the last minute with me. I will say I have time to do a video or something, and then what'll happen is I will get super wrapped up in doing something else. Like I'll get super caught up in either taking my grandparents to appointments, or maybe I'm doing a really heavy grad school week that week, or maybe a really heavy work week. And so something usually always has to give. And sometimes that's cleaning my house that gives. So instead of spending time cleaning, I'm spending time filming or working. And then other times my movement gives, where instead of working out or doing something for my body, I will be doing schoolwork instead. And I feel like the moment that I realized that that is okay and that I don't have to get everything done every single day was the moment that I really gave myself a lot of kind of forgiveness in that, because I used to be really, really hard on myself on finishing everything in my to-do list. And so this has been a really good way for me to be a little bit more realistic with it, which I think is definitely going to benefit me in the long run. I haven't done any of my content planning for Instagram or anything like that, or YouTube, so I'm just going to leave those areas blank for now. For my work stuff, I am going to also leave that blank just because some of it is like private client information and stuff, so I'm going to leave that area blank. But what I can fill in now is school, and there are a couple of things I need to get done. There are 2 tasks that I need to complete, hopefully by the end of this week, and then I would love to start the next course. The program that I'm in is entirely self-paced, and the benefit of that is that I've been able to be really flexible with how I do it. But the downfall, obviously, is that sometimes because I'm focusing on other things, it does get pushed off. So I just have to be really conscious about that. For my personal category, I'm going to go ahead and add in start packing. I am going to be moving within the next few weeks. And so I want to start packing a little bit earlier. That way I don't have to stress about it when the time comes. I also need to prep my tax documents and then update all of my financial info stuff. This is really referring to my financial trackers. So things like my budget, my income tracker, expense tracker, and stuff like that. Moving down a little bit more, I have my cleaning category and then my movement category. These are 2 things I really like to schedule out daily to-dos for. So for cleaning, I'll clean one area of my home every single day. And then same thing with movement, where I'm focusing on a different part of my body every day. For cleaning on Monday, I think this week I'm gonna make it the living room. room. Tuesday can be the bedroom. Wednesday, the bathroom. Thursday will be the kitchen. Friday will be my digital space. This is something I added lately that I've really been liking as well. Cleaning my digital space just means like going through my photos, deleting screenshots, deleting duplicates, stuff like that. Also going through like my downloads folder and just making sure that my digital space is also as clear as my physical space. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I like to just do a quick tidy. And then of course on Sunday, I'll do my reset. So if I have any extra laundry I need to get done, I'll go ahead and take care of it then. For my movements, the split I've been liking lately is separating my lower and upper body days and then combining abs or like core with my upper body. Wednesday is usually a total day. Thursday is my rest day plus mobility. Friday we go back to lower. Saturday we go back to upper and abs. And then Sunday is another rest and mobility day. Okay, we are feeling pretty filled in. I think that is pretty much everything I can fill in with you guys, which means we are officially at one of my favorite parts of journaling, and that is the decorating portion. I actually just went out with a few of my friends yesterday and I picked up this greenery sticker pack. These are some of my favorite stickers just because they have like a translucent background, and so they look really, really nice in this planner. Let's just open her up. And so there are so many of these things to choose from, and this is going to be the inspiration for today's weekly spread. I'm gonna go with like a super plant vibe. Last week I did like a red and tan color scheme, and then the week before that I believe was blue. So this week is going to be green. And what I do when I look for my stickers and where I'm gonna place them is I look for any open space, like any of these little areas, and then also sometimes along the center columns, or if there's anything I can pair with one of my events. So that is kind of what I do. I think I'm gonna go ahead and find a really fun tall leaf to go along this upper side here. And they even have some really cute little potted plants that I'll probably stick somewhere. Like I like maybe that one for somewhere. In fact, I'm just gonna take it now before I lose it or something. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this one next to my reset day. And then this long leaf seems like it would be kind of cute over here. So we will go ahead and place that one down. Oops, gonna move it over a little bit more. There we go. I will also go ahead and pull out my washi tape so we can start using that as well. And then I really liked these because they have like a little corner framing thing. So I might go ahead and grab one of those. I don't know if it'll be a little bit too big. I think it might be okay. Oh, see, that's cute. I like that. That one will go at the top. And then this is another one of my little boxes where I keep all of my journaling supplies. So I think for this, I'm going to grab this color washi tape and then maybe this one, the green, obviously. And then maybe we'll also do like a little black outline one. I really like to layer washi tape and then just kind of add it into different open spaces to give it a little bit more color. So I'll add this lighter green / beigey color down here. Maybe we'll do a darker green on this side. And then finally we will do this slightly different color green at the top, just for a little something extra. Actually, this one is a little bit too thick for up there, so I think we might go in with that black outline one I told you guys about. I like this one because it is so much thinner than the other ones, so it can kind of fit into some of those narrower spaces. Go ahead and put that one up there. And then to kind of match it all together, I'm also going to go back in with this black one down here, just so that way there's some like balance between the two. And now that that's in, I can go in with another one of my sticker packs. I think I'm gonna do the little nature one. It's from that same brand as the greenery pack. And we can just find some other things in here that would go along with this. So for example, maybe this green feather. This would kind of be cute somewhere. Maybe we could stick her down here, or even like along the side, maybe like on the side or something. I think the really fun part about journaling is that there is no really rhyme or reason. Like, I choose a color theme just because I feel like it makes things a little bit more cohesive, but in reality, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And so that can be kind of fun when you're just trying to mix and match and find different things to add to your journal. So I feel like that's always been something I've always like enjoyed about journaling, just how you can add whatever you want, wherever you want, and just make it into something that brings you a lot of joy. I really love this hummingbird. I know I have to add this one in somewhere. I'm thinking down here. And then I just feel like it's missing something. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add in a few more like little leaves just in some random places to bring it along. I can also add this little frog. I think that would be really cute, maybe at the top somewhere. And then a little bit more greenery, and I might call it a day. I think that's gonna do it for me. I feel like I still need some space to be able to write some stuff in, so I'm going to call it there. Let me give you guys a better look at how it came out. Here is what my weekly journal spread looks like. I went for a green theme this week, and I feel like it's just the perfect mix of still being fun and creative while also giving you everything you need to do to actually get stuff done and be super productive. If you guys enjoyed today's video, feel free to like and subscribe if you're new. I post new videos every Friday and Sunday, so you guys can tune back in then for some new content. Thank you again so much for watching. It honestly means the world to me. I'm so happy that you guys are here, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.